this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
No.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake, and we're here to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Ooh, I got a mug too.
So, we got some fun stuff this time around.
Indeed.
I'm sure Jake has got some theme of some sort. As usual, my theme is I'm going in alphabetical order of what I've gotten picked up on sales and stuff over the holidays. Which that will last me for more than the holidays, but those will get factored into the regular ones after a while. And I guess I'll go ahead and start us off.
Okay.
Whoop. All right, so for those of you who actually watch my reviews, you'll know this one because I reviewed it, and that is Bloodbath and the House of Knives, a film by Ted Mooring, and this was his first film, his directorial debut. It is a slasher film. It's about this killer that's stalking these two sisters, and he goes around and he does some brutal killings. I mean, this is very brutal. I mean, the first scene starts off with slitting of the throat and stabbing, well, crotch stabbing. It's quite gory, quite graphic. For the most part, I really like how the killer was portrayed. I thought the story was pretty well done. I thought that the costume design was pretty done, and the gore design was pretty well done, but the acting was terrible. If you want to hear a longer version of that, check out my review. Still a decent release. I got it for $3 when I was told, hey, you should check this out by the man himself. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I mean, $3, I can do that. It is out of print, but so if you really want this, you should grab it. It's he is known for Camp Blood 666, which is a film I really do like. So, all right, I'm not told you.
I'll admit I like the title, but that sounds like one I wouldn't be in a hurry to see.
No, you wouldn't.
Another one that's supposedly disturbing, but in very different ways. One of the more eclectic directors out there is Steven Soderbergh. Soderbergh has done films that are absolutely mainstream and very, very entertaining. Think Ocean's 11 and Logan Lucky and a couple of films along those lines, as well as somewhat more highbrow but still mainstream stuff like Aaron Brockovich, and then much more arty stuff going through Traffic into just beyond. Some of this stuff has been straight weird, and supposedly that's the case with this film. Now, you mentioned that movie cost you $3. The first three that I'm going to present cost a combined $3. I'm going with a little mini theme here. Brandon, he knows this already, that I made it to a very large Dollar Tree recently that I had never been to before, and made a pretty good haul. I don't think I'm going to present it all in one go because that was a lot of stuff.
I got a couple from there.
It's mostly Blu-ray, but I did get 3 DVDs. And the first one, by virtue of being a Soderbergh film that I didn't have, and a Magnolia release. Magnolia is a boutique publisher that is kind of rare to find in the wild. So anytime I do find their stuff, I'm usually interested in picking it up. And that's a film called Bubble.
Oh.
And, just from that picture of dolls' heads on the cover, something's up. And it says that a bizarre love triangle is born at a doll factory in a small Midwestern town. Just from that sentence alone, it's going to be interesting. Again, I don't know what to make of this. I know Soderbergh is known for getting really out there at times, but I couldn't pass up the chance to grab this. And one day I'll get around to finding out what kind of experience it is.
You made me change my pick real quick last minute. I was about to throw on a Dollar Tree purchase anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I'll do my Dollar Tree purchase.
Okay.
Bubble. Steven Soderbergh.
Good times.
It just looked amusing to me. And
Yes.
you never know. It's $1. It could be good.
Right.
And Magnolia, I like collecting Magnolia pieces because they do eventually collect value after they're out of the Dollar Tree.
It's like I said, they're kind of rare in the wild. So it's like, yeah. Funny how many of them go to Dollar Tree, but
I mean, because once Dollar Tree is done with these releases, it's harder to find them cheap. Try find Scorched for $1 these days.
That was actually a pretty good pickup. I enjoyed it.
So, it could be fun. So, Bubbles.
Bubbles. Okay, back to me. Another Magnolia release, actually. And this was 2 for the price of 1. In fact, the set is called 2 Films by Wayne Wang, who it notes here is the director of the Joy Luck Club. And these are 1,000 Years of Good Prayers and The Princess of Nebraska. So I don't really know either of these films, but once again, you got the director of the Joy Luck Club, which I have only seen once and I've totally forgotten, but a very important film, is one of the only mainstream American films to basically be by and for Asians. I don't know if these are more of a, I guess they're more of a mixed cast maybe. But I saw this set and I was like, I need to pick this up. It's a nice slimmed down way to get a couple of films that would probably be worth having. And again, a Magnolia release. This is probably not going to remain a buck.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my Dollar Tree. Well, it's no way wraps up all my Dollar Tree, but
Right.
the only other one in there. And that is a documentary that I've seen a lot about and a lot of people talked well about. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, it looks like it's streaming only. And that is a documentary called Being Elmo, The Puppeteer's Journey.
Okay.
I was curious about this, and I mean, it has gotten some good reports as being a good documentary. And I'm always curious about Jim Henson stuff.
Yeah.
Elmo's annoying, but Lord knows it's good to be able to get some information and see more stuff behind the scenes. I swear, if Defunct Land ever does a physical release of their Jim Henson series, I would buy that up. Like, that'd be a priority. Because it's always some good stuff.
All right. And my last one from the Dollar Tree. This is another. Again, there are certain things that when you see them in the wild for low prices, you're like, I have got to do that because when will I see this again? Now, I've mentioned before with my library pickups and whatever that when I find British productions cheap, I tend to jump on them. Now, I have a lot of British productions in piecemeal because of this. I really would have rather gotten a complete collection of this series, but finding a season of a Britcom for $1, why not go ahead and grab it? And what's more, the two of us have a mutual friend who, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe this mutual friend assured me that this is one of the great British programs out there. And that's an old Britcom called Allo Allo. Season 7. So well into the journey of that particular show. But I'm sure with this kind of a show, I could pick it up at season 7 and be perfectly all right. Just watch it as is. Well, again, one day I will have to get this whole series, and whether that's a complete collection or I keep going piecemeal, we'll find out. But I couldn't pass up getting a season for $1.
It's been on my want list for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so darned expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, the season you've got is, I think, going for about $15 on Amazon.
Really?
Which is a lower part, but no, $9 on Amazon. But they range all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And the DVD collection, that was like super expensive because I really wanted to get all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it was like $300, and I was like,
do you remember how many seasons there are?
At least 9, it looks like.
Okay.
So you got a ways to go.
Right.
But they are out there. I've seen, what's weird is I haven't seen that one, but I've seen a lot of Doctor Who's there.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to collect on Doctor Who. I don't want to get started in that rabbit hole.
Talking about piecemeal.
So this next one is one from the Criterion sale, which wasn't that long ago. And this is a Spike Lee joint. So now I have both of the ones that Criterion had, because this is Bamboozled.
Oh, nice.
So, I thought I would go ahead and get both the ones that they had on Criterion. And I know why I confuse it, because Kino has released a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Sometimes I get them mixed up, which is strange, because Kino doesn't usually do any special release. But it's kind of cool to have it. It's history, and I need to watch. I think the only Spike Lee film I have seen is Black Klansman.
Really?
Yes.
That's bad.
It is bad. I need to see at least the ones I've got, which, I've got one of his best, people would say. But,
yeah, you do need to see Do the Right Thing. It's in the
just all of these, all these movies, man. All these movies.
Yep. Let's see. Do the Right Thing, Black Klansman, Clockers, 25th Hour, Chirac.
Brooklyn.
I haven't seen enough. I've seen a few. I think there's a couple more that I've seen. Anywho, next up is my next two are Right Stuff purchases from, I think, over the summer. I've had them for a minute now. And one of them is kind of the opposite of Hello, Hello. It's a series that I held off getting piecemeal until now. I do have a nice, tidy, neat little compact, complete series collection. And that is a relatively recent Discotheque release of Marmalade Boy, which is, of course, all 76 episodes and the movie. I kind of not crazy about the fact that Discotheque just does standard releases, standard definition, but it does allow them to cram a ton of stuff on a minimal amount of discs, so that's kind of cool. And this is one that I understand is a classic series. I've never seen it, but maybe one day now I will. At the very least, it'll be on the shelf waiting to be seen.
Yeah, I was looking up although there is actually a listing for it on eBay for all of the 9 together. Actually, there's a couple listings, but they're like $250.
Yeah, that's a little more than I got right now.
There's one though that is $85, which is not bad.
Yeah.
From Canada. You know,
So it's going to
Canada.
it's going to be $30 shipping.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is trying to get it there. It's $10 shipping, but still.
Yeah.
So this one here is my only Walmart pickup. I have been collecting this series every year. $10 a season, DVD, as it comes out. Last year they ended it. But what season did they put on sale for $10? The prior season. So I was like, screw you, I'm not buying your last season for $30. So I waited. Now this year, they finally put it down to $10. Where, of course, I right away bought it up and now have completed The Big Bang Theory. So now I have the final season. I really need to get back to watching it again. I stopped about halfway through the series. But it was a fun series. I really enjoyed what I watched, but I've heard it kind of devolves as you go into more of just a romantic comedy that's kind of got some basic elements in it. And there's a lot of controversy to it, but I'm kind of glad that the series finally did end. I think 12 seasons is more than enough for a series. But I'll be glad to finally put an end cap on that. I guess now I need to start collecting Young Sheldon, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you want to.
Oh, God.
My turn?
Yes.
All right. So my next one is a collection that can't say I'm super familiar with this particular collection, but I'm still curious about it. It's actually a Shout/11 Arts release, and that is Donten Laughing Under the Clouds Gaiden, which is a 3-movie collection for this particular series, and sort of a samurai type series there. I'm curious about it. Again, I haven't seen it, but I got a good price on this collection, and I was like, I should go ahead and grab it.
Well, you know me in priority stuff, especially if a certain Amityville is involved. Next 2 are Amityville pickups, one of them from Amazon, one from a private filmmaker. So the first one is Amityville Witches, which is the last of the new, like, bigger budget Amityville films that I had seen coming out. I always try to catch them because they tend to go out of print pretty quickly, and I am just obsessed over collecting these darn things. It's about these like witches going to like a witches academy at Amityville or something like that, and I don't know, it might be good. I got a couple of Amityville films I need to watch now to catch up. The one about the shark and all that stuff. But I mean, you know, it's Amityville.
Right.
I know that you're eager to see this, right?
Right. You know it. Now just wait until they do an Amityville with the tie-in to my next one, which is, I've mentioned in earlier videos a particular eBay seller who has been selling a large amount of Funimation at starting the auctions at really low prices, and sometimes the auctions have ended at really low prices. And I've done a really good job of somehow winning one item at a time from this person. And I've still got a couple. I haven't done any for a couple of months, but I still have a couple buried in these stacks here. And so I'm bringing one of them out today. And this is actually a very, very, very highly rated series. It was a series that people were raving about when it came out. And I still have not gotten around to watching it. But I now have it, and I got a really good price too. I think it was like 17 or 18, which for a relatively new Funimation title is a pretty good price. And that is the series Yuri on Ice, big figure skating series that, again, very, very highly rated series.
Yes.
People were raving about this. And I'm curious. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but I have heard that it's a really good sports anime, but also a really good relationship. Kind of, they balance the two really well, supposedly. The relationships in questions sort of a BL bent to it, so that's not usually my favorite, but I'm still very curious about this. And like I said, I got it for a really good price. I'm very happy to have that out of the way and not have to worry about picking it up at their usual Funimation pricing.
Instead of Yuri, it's Yaoi.
Exactly. But they still call it Yuri.
That's because the character is Yuri.
Yeah, I know.
The character name is Yuri. I've heard so many good things about that series.
Right.
I haven't it myself, but it's one I keep meaning to get to. I just haven't been like, eventually, I'll get to it. Speaking of one I might have to get to eventually, the other Amityville pickup. I kept trying to ignore this one, but Dave's right. It's kind of good to get some of these into the collection, especially since it's Amityville themed. And that is the Amityville vibrator.
I like the tagline too.
Yes, for God's sake, get off. I mean, you can even see.
Oh God.
Yeah, so Kathy moves into a new home and soon comes into contact with a vibrator with ancient evil powers. It's up to researchers to locate this possessed item before Kathy and anyone else she encounters becomes a sex slave of Satan. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh.
I will check it out eventually just because it has something. I admit it does amuse me.
That actually does sound amusing.
I'll have to tell you.
Be awful, but
I'll have to tell you when I see it. I'll have to tell you how bad the gore is, and then you can check it out.
Man. Check it out. Okay. Next up is one that this was one of those ones that the first time I heard about it, I was at the movie theater and I saw the poster and I was like, ooh. And then I kind of forgot about it. It's a movie that actually my next three are all eBay pickups, and I honestly can't recall if this was the same vendor or not. I think it was. They were purchased at about the same time, which again is, we're talking end of summer at this point. It's been a minute. But the first one of these, and they were all pretty cheap. This one was really cheap. And it pretty much is really cheap. Anywhere you go now, you can find it, really inexpensive. It's a film directed by John Madden, actually, and not the football guy, obviously. And co-written by Matthew Vaughn. And listen to the cast. You got Helen Mirren, Sam Worthington, Jessica Chastain, Martin Sokas, Karen Hines, and Tom Wilkinson. I mean, it's a pretty good cast. It's a movie called The Debt. And so it's a suspense thriller. In 1966, 3 Mossad agents were assigned to track down a feared Nazi war criminal hiding in East Berlin, a mission accomplished at great risk and personal cost. Or was it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Et cetera, et cetera. So I'm intrigued by this. I mean, the director, Shakespeare in Love, it's a political thriller with a hell of a cast. I think I paid $3 or $4 for this. It's probably worth it. So I'll give that one a go eventually.
So my last 2 are from Best Buy.
Okay.
This is more of a cart topper. I looked at it. I think it was $5.99 or $6.99. I can't remember which one it was, but it was still pretty cheap. And that is Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I was so close on that one. I put it back, but
because I considered it, and these animated films are usually pretty good. And I've heard it was decent. Wasn't as good as the comics, but still decent. So it might be worth checking into.
Nice.
I'll have to let you know once I finally see it.
Well, and actually, I've got a DC one, which I think I paid rather less than that. I think this was like a $4 pickup, which is one of the reasons why I bid on it, because it was so cheap. And I was actually astonished at how cheaply I won. Again, I think it was like 4-ish. And that was the film that, for better or worse, essentially started the DCEU, Man of Steel. Yeah, got a nice slipcover edition, and not bad looking overall, really. For what I paid for this, I was kind of impressed by what I got. I actually don't dislike this movie. I actually think it is one of the better, certainly of the Zack Snyder helmed DC films. This is one of the better ones. I've said before, I feel like Zack Snyder's films tend to be kind of soulless. They're brilliant exercises in visual art, and they can be very entertaining at times, but they're always missing something. And for lack of a better word, I would say soul. This one I feel has more of that than most of his films do. And, it wasn't bad, but I still didn't want to pay a lot for it. So I was really happy to get it cheap.
Yeah, it's definitely on the higher end of the Snyderverse. But thank goodness they seem to be improving. Now, this last one, I was worried because it got lost in the mail, but it did finally get to me.
All right.
I was like, I had been curious about this movie for a while. You were like big on this movie. And I think you got it not long after it came out or something like that. I can't remember. But you were huge on this movie, and I was like, it's way too expensive. I'm not paying that. And I was like, this movie is a 4K. It's got to be 4K. And I was like, I'm not paying $40 for that. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then Best Buy put it on sale for $10. I was like, okay, I can go for that. So we're talking Alita, Battle Angel.
Oh, very nice.
I can't remember. Did you buy this shortly after it came out, or did you wait? Or I knew you got it.
No, I don't have it. I
don't
need
you
to
got
get
it?
it. Nope, I need to get it. I honestly, I want that set, I think, but the main thing that's holding me off, it's one thing to have an extra 4K that I can't use, but I don't want a friggin' 3D disc.
I know, it was like 3D Blu-ray disc along with the regular.
I don't want 3D. But yeah, but I also do want that one in 4K in case I ever do upgrade the player, because it is a gorgeous movie.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. I thought it needs to be 4K from what I've heard, and $10.
Yeah,
this set here with what you're getting in it is worth $10.
Yeah.
So I was not too worried about grabbing it.
Okay.
I was surprised you didn't have it already. If not, I mean, shoot, actually $10. I'm surprised this didn't tempt you majorly.
It did tempt me majorly, and it is one that I suggested as a possible Christmas pickup. So we'll see. Okay.
Okay. So
my last one. My last one is one that I got, again, fairly cheaply. This is one that's been on my list for a long time. And strangely enough, it has been very, 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 very difficult to find a legit looking copy of this film. I feel like they must have done an ultra limited pressing of the actual release, because almost everyone I've ever seen has been a repurposed rental copy. And that, more than anything else, is why it's taken me so friggin' long to get this movie. And I got finally a really cool looking edition, but unfortunately it's beat up. So I had to, settle, unfortunately, for a beat up copy. But it's a double Oscar nominee, supporting actor for Woody Harrelson, and I want to say supporting actress for Samantha Morton. And that is a film called The Messenger.
Ah, good one.
Which also had Ben Foster, Steve Buscemi, and Jenna Malone, I believe, is in there. But I mean, look at this set. It is you got a slipcover, and then it just opens up like, come on. You would probably hate this because it's got, it slides out it's like several parts. But like it's got the little sleeves, which I know you hate. But it's just such a cool looking edition. I'm like, this is nice. And
I'm not as bad on that but DVDs I am, because it scratches the heck out of them.
And this one, the outer slipcover is the main part that's beat up. But unfortunately, the outer slipcover is kind of beat to crap on this one, especially if you look at the side. It's really nasty. But it's a really nice looking set, even if it is a little beat up. It's a movie, like I said, it's apparently very rare in the wild. It took me a long time to get a copy of this that was not blatantly a repurposed rental copy. And it was on my list. I'm a big fan of Woody Harrelson. I'm a big fan Steve Buscemi, Jenna Malone, Samantha Morton. I'm a big fan of almost everyone in the cast. Double Oscar nominee. This had to be gotten. And I'm glad I finally did. And I guess my patience was rewarded. It's just a shame it's a little beat up, but still, could have been worse.
All right. So we had that. So we're going to take a break before we head off to do some discussion.
Talk about some quality stuff, right?
Yep. Talk about we're doing our other Halloween filmings, which of course you can already watch if you're watching this, because this is out like Wednesday and we talked about it Monday. Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button, of course. As always, share and leave us a comment. What did you pick up? What What cool things have you gotten in the holiday sales? We want to know. Inquiring minds, did you get that Amityville one that I got? Have you seen it?
Yes, that one.
Yeah. In case, we'll see you on the next one.